When you operate from a solutions-based mindset, your problems become paychecks. Stop running from the only thing that's going to make you wealthy. What up? Back with another episode of From the Bottom podcast. We got your host Fitz as always. We got Ty.
Gang.
We got our special guest Shalisha. That's
Hello.
her. That's her intro, the laugh and then the lean back and lean back in. All right.
This guy.
Unfortunately,
I didn't lean back.
Yes, you did. You went like this and then you came back. But unfortunately, Fitz number 2, Aaron, was called into work. So he won't be joining us this week. Hopefully he's at the place of his establishment helping people. But anyways,
he's an exotic dancer.
Yes, he is hitting the streets of Vail, Colorado, and making a change in these people's lives. But
On the fan page.
But we've brought on another Fitzpatrick, and she's here to share her perspective. Aaron touched on her briefly last week, so we'll let the fans that we will probably have in the future, but not right now, decide if what he said was true. So how y'all been?
Right.
Bro, what if they vote him off the podcast and they want her instead? What are we gonna do?
Give the people what they want.
All right, I just want to make sure. Man, we good, baby. Hey, give thanks, can't complain. You feel me? You know what it is. Every week, you know what it is.
All right. What about you, Shalisha?
I've been good. Just trying to improve myself. I'm doing a lot of self-development to see what I need to work on to get to where I need to be. I asked you to hold me accountable. So Robert is going to be the person that's holding me accountable every week. We're going to have a Saturday meeting. Just, motivated to get things done.
All right. That's what I like to hear. Motivation. And I know a lot of people, they are, I guess, too prideful to have someone else hold them accountable. I don't know what it is, but when I was growing up, it was like very secretive. Everyone was secretive. They didn't want no one to know what they were working on in case it didn't work out. How does that feel, like putting yourself out there and being vulnerable and not knowing if it's going to work out?
Go ahead, special guest.
Frightening. Yes, I recently did that DISC assessment test Robert had me do.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I guess it's frightening to really take account of responsibility for why you're in the situation you're in and why you don't have certain goals reached. To put that blame on yourself instead of blaming situations or circumstance. You have to realize that you had a part in it. So it's a scary thing, but I mean, in the end, it's going to be worth it. So all in at 120.
Yeah, and I think that's the part where you touched on, like, frightening. People want to put up this persona like they have everything under control. And the moment you step back and you realize, okay, I'm not as in control as I thought I was, it hits you in a different way. And that's kind of what we've been talking about these last few weeks on the podcast, is like self-accountability. We touched on self-doubt, being your authentic self. I know Ty, he takes it to another level, and he believes that he doesn't have any weaknesses. And he has gone on record saying this. And so, Ty, I want to get your perspective. Shalisha's saying it's frightening when you take accountability because, there's all these unknowns. For you, when you take self-accountability, do you experience something similar?
Hey, talk that talk about me, boy. I like that. You feel me? I like it, man. I'm a risk taker always. Whether it work out or not, it ain't nothing but nobody business. I'm not gonna be mad if it don't work out. I'm not gonna feel embarrassed because at least I tried it. There's a lot of people just sitting on almost cussed, sitting on their butt. You feel me? So, I mean, I enjoy it, man. That's what make life worth it, you know. Taking risk and just shooting for the stars, really.
So what about the person that says, well, I'm a risk taker, but I have too much to lose if I take a risk. Like you're in a better position than me, so you can take these risks.
You're not a risk taker then. It don't matter what position you in, really. It don't matter. That's just an excuse for real. I mean, I understand people being cautious and having a strategy, but at the same time, you taking away from your plan A. So, I mean, unless you want to have your energy in two different plans, then you can do that. But you're not gonna accomplish plan A if you worry about plan B.
I agree. What do you think, Shalisha?
It's the same. For me, it's more frightening because I do get stuck in my comfort zone. I like the security. I like the known and taking those risks. There's not a lot of security. You got to step out of your comfort zone. You got to step into the unknown and really just go based off of your faith.
So that brings up an interesting point. You said security, and I hear a lot of people say security, and I'm wondering, okay, so with security, are we talking about short-term security or long-term security? Because I never know. Like for me, I'm wondering, like, if I'm in a building, right, and the whole building is on fire, but my room that I'm in is not on fire. Am I really secure, or am I just waiting to get burned?
You waiting to get burned.
When you put it like that, waiting to get burned. Your
And
room
I
isn't fireproof. The fire can spread.
exactly, and I think what so many people do is they're in that room that's not on fire, but it's not even that they don't know the whole building is on fire. They're like, well, the fire is over there and I see it, but I'm gonna just take a chance and hope that it doesn't come over here, or maybe somebody else will put it out before it gets here, but I don't want to look for an escape route and go to a building where it's not on fire. You know what I mean? Like they can also look out the window and see that the building next door is not on fire, and there's a good chance they could make it across. They could jump and, make it, or stay in the same building and hope that the fire doesn't come to them. And I think it's a big problem when we talk about security, whether we're talking about short term or long term, because security for me is long term. Like I would rather be in a burning building and have a way out of it to a building that's not burning than to just be in a burning building and be comfortable for that moment and be like, well, I'm not getting burnt now. I would rather risk running through the fire to get to a different building that I know isn't going to catch on fire than to stay in a building that I know is eventually going to burn down. Not only with me, but all the people that I love and care about. I don't know. I think when we talk about security, we have to put it in perspective of like long term. And I know for you two, well, maybe I don't know, but from what I'm from what I'm gathering, like I just want to know what do you think of when you think of security? Because you had mentioned the word, but I think a little different perspective would help.
Being comfortable. I think. I think that's the main reason why people don't have ownership, or they're kind of scared to go out of the traditional 9 to 5, is because they're not comfortable. They're not comfortable knowing like what's gonna happen, where their money coming from. Like once you start your own business or you have ownership, whatever you do, you're doing all the work compared to being at a job. You got people in HR, you got people in doing the accounting stuff. Like you got people who are already doing that, so you just have to show up. So I think just people get stuck in that comfortableness, and then it just turns into not, I wouldn't say excuses, but people just don't think on it logically, because it's just like it's easy to have ownership if you just put the time and effort into it. I mean, you could do small projects, large projects, medium. You could do whatever you want to do or whatever project, but just do it, man. Like it's just about being comfortable. I mean, I get it. That's how we were raised. We were raised to go to school, get a good job, work 9 to 5, whatever. So once you get comfortable in doing that, like you don't know nothing else. So why would you want to tear away from that? Just like we talked about Kodak before the podcast started. You know what I'm saying? He just got out of prison, and he backed. I wouldn't say he backed to his old ways, but it looked like it for the image. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can you tear somebody away from what they've known their entire life?
I don't know. It's hard. It's definitely hard. Um, I I've been thinking about something this week, and I want y'all's opinion on it. Um, all right. So I watch a lot of anime, and in these anime shows, the main character, it's like they're always on a journey, but from the beginning they know what their mission is, like, and everybody thinks they're crazy, and then the whole show is about them accomplishing this goal that they set out to do. And I'm wondering, do you guys think that you should have a goal first or a plan first?
Mm, a goal.
Why a goal first?
Because if you have a goal and something you want to accomplish, if you can at least establish what your goal is first, then there you'll be able to come up with a great plan to make it happen. You can get into details and steps of what you want to do to make that goal happen. But if you just start planning and you don't really have a direction of where you want to go or what you want to accomplish, you're really not going to get anywhere.
Hmm. Okay, so let's take it a step further. Let's say that you thought you wanted something and you made a plan to do that. But then in the middle of the plan, you realize that you really didn't want the goal that you set out to get. Do you just keep doing, like, do you reorganize and get a new goal, or do you just keep going and then try to find a goal along the way?
Reorganize.
Reorganize?
Why keep going in something that you don't want to do and that you're not even passionate about doing, that you're not even going to be putting your all into getting to where you need to be?
Hmm.
Why waste time doing the goal you set out that you don't like doing when you can spend a day or two or however long it takes you to find something you want to do, come up with a new plan, and now get that plan in motion? Why would you waste time doing something you know that you no longer have interest in, or you know that you don't?
We got it. No, I agree, and I think one of the I think one of the bigger
Long
issues.
pause.
No, it was because you had timed out. It, like,
Oh, okay.
I was like waiting, but I think one of the bigger issues is that people set a goal, and when they're trying to achieve the goal, it it gets harder than they thought it would, and then they try to change it. And this is why I think a plan is so important as well, is because if you plan out, you can kind of you can plan for the things that are going to get difficult to the best of your ability. But I think people make a goal without understanding what it's going to take to get to that goal. And then when they run into obstacles, it's like, well, I'm not really passionate about this anymore. But I don't think that it's that they're not passionate about it anymore. I think that they weren't expecting, for instance, when you're going to college, that, the tuition might get raised, or you run into a certain class. Like, I know people that took biology 3 times and they didn't pass it, and they ended up not going to college anymore. And I look at that and I say, well, maybe if they would have known that biology was going to be an issue or an obstacle, they could have planned for that and ended up spending more time on that or something. So I agree with you that you should have a goal, but I think that you should have a goal and a plan at the same time, and that one is not more important than the other, but
Oh,
just
yeah.
that, you know, goals, the way that we think of them is like, can I hit this mark? Can I hit this target? But I think goals should be more focused on the actions and not necessarily the results. Because at first you may not see the results, and that's discouraging. But if you focus on the actions, then you may go above the goal that you're not really putting that much effort into, you know, realizing. If that, I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Just trying to help someone. I don't know. Hopefully I'm doing a good job.
This guy. What you think? You a plan or a goal?
I think I think a plan. Like if I had to choose one, I would say a plan,
Why you say a plan?
because a plan gets you started and a goal to me doesn't necessarily get you started.
How can you have a plan without a goal though?
I think you can have a plan because the thing with the goal is that if you've never done something, that goal is probably going to be off a little bit anyways. You know, like if
What are
I'm
you
start
planning? What are you planning for then?
I'm planning for that. That's why I'm saying if I focus my plan around the actions and doing things that, for instance, I don't need to know that I want to make, say, $100,000 in real estate. I don't need to know that that's the goal in order for me to wake up consistently and put in work. You know, like I can say $100,000, but if I get up every single day and give 100%, it doesn't matter what that goal is because I know I'm doing my best. Like, so if I mean, I would prefer both, but if I had to choose, I would say when you make a goal, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to start doing what it takes to get it. You know, like, but if you have a plan, I get what you're saying. You have to have a goal in order to know what to plan for. But I think the plan gets you started, and then you can make better goals once you start.
Okay, I understand. I mean, I think I think with the plan is it's about having an idea. I think that's where you're coming from. Because I
Yeah.
mean, when you work for, you know, you're working for Tatiana's mom's peoples or whatever, you know, so y'all have a goal in mind of reaching 100,000, 200,000. That's the goal. But then y'all have a plan to reach that goal. So for you, you're thinking in terms more of like ideas. That's kind of how I do. Like, what kind of ideas do I have? Like we talked about it this weekend about that building and doing all those things as an idea, and then we're gonna have a plan, and then eventually we'll have a goal later down the road. So I'm definitely with the plan though. I like the plan better than the goal.
Yeah, because I think action is missing in a lot of goal setting. You know, like people make setting the goal. And I think that the plan gets you started. And then as you're going, at least with the plan, if you don't know where you're going, you're still building skills at the same time. If you just set a goal and then that's it, and it's like, oh, well, now I'm done. I set the goal. I don't know if that really does anything except make you feel like you did something. But if you make a goal and forget that goal, but you remember the plan and you just do that plan every single day,
Mm.
you're gonna get the results. There's no way that you can't. Um, but I think that goal setting has been like sensationalized to the point to where people don't really understand the purpose of a goal. You know, like I think the purpose is not to just write it down or to know it, but to use it to then form a plan and then follow that plan. I don't know, Shalisha, you've been doing a lot of goal setting. What do you think? Like when you look at your goals, what are you focused on? Are you focused on reaching the goal, or are you focused on doing the everyday things that you said you were gonna do?
For me, it's both. I want to reach that goal and get into start forming new, better habits for myself on a daily basis. So for me, I use my goal as kind of like my structure, my foundation. I know where I want to go, I know what I want to be. But it's like now when the plan comes into action, these are what I got to do to get there. So this is my goal. That's like my light at the end of the tunnel. And like I called you last night to revise my plan because I had no idea that I felt like I needed somebody to hold me accountable in some aspects. But it's like if I need that, then I have to alter my plan. I have to make room for it in order to reach that goal. So for me, they're both important.
How would you feel if you didn't reach your goal? What would that do to you?
It would hurt a little bit, especially because I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. It would kind of be like a damn. Oh, sorry, no cussing. But if I know that I'm doing what I should have been doing and I'm giving my 120 every day, then there should be no reason why I can't reach. So because I know what I want to do and I'm passionate about it, not reaching that end goal is just not an option. And now it's down to, you have your goal, you have your plan. Are you going to do what you need to do to make it happen? So now that's where my taking responsibility and being accountable to action. If I don't do the things I set every day in my calendar, I'm not going to finish the real estate courses by the 17th of this month. I won't be a licensed real estate agent by the first week of March. We'll actually get more specific. The 8th of March is the deadline. So I know what I want. I have my plan. Now it's execution time. Now I got to go out there. I got to do it. And if I don't, then I can't be mad at nobody but myself if I don't reach that end goal. Because I knew what I had to do, but I wasn't giving it all that I needed to give it in order to reach it.
I got a question.
But as long as I know that I did what I needed to do, yes.
So this is something that we need to touch on too, because I think a lot of people may experience this, but they don't know what it is. So you said that you would get upset. You would be a little hurt if you weren't to accomplish that goal. So what a lot of people do with their goals is they put their identity, they attach their identity to that goal. So when they don't achieve that goal, accomplish it, whatever, they feel like they don't know who they are. So in doing what you're doing now, you said you would be upset, but do you know who you are? Do you know what your identity is outside of whatever goals you want to accomplish?
Yeah, and when I say I'd be upset, I wouldn't be upset at nobody but myself. That's where the accountability comes in. I have to hold myself accountable. That anger, that upset, that frustration, I have to put it into, okay, what didn't you do in your plan? What weren't you doing? Because you had everything you needed to do, you didn't reach it, so what didn't I do?
Well, let's
and then that's like a self-reflect thing.
That's what I was gonna say. With the reflection, I think what happens if you execute your plan 100% and you just didn't get where you wanted to be? Like, what if the problem was not you like what you did, but the goal that you set? Like, what if, because I know you're doing like, I think 2 classes a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what if different classes take different times to do, but you're doing 2 a day, but you're not accounting for the fact that maybe 2 classes a day are different on Monday than it would be on Tuesday. And for whatever reason, let's say you didn't reach it by that set date. Is it that you didn't give it 100%, or that now you have more information to set better goals now? Like, I get what you're saying. You're going to execute 100%. What I'm saying is, so many people don't reach their goal, and then they're so upset with themselves that there isn't that mindful reflection. Like, there isn't that, well, I did this, and this. What was it about the goal that led me here? Or what was it, the execution? Did I not set it right? And I only say that because when I first started real estate, I would set all these goals, and I would say, I want to close 2 deals a month. I want to make this amount of money. But it was limiting for me because I focused so much on the goal and not the work, that it was like, when you miss that first goal, it's like, dang, I missed that. And then it can become a downward spiral once you miss that first mark or whatever. Because it's like, imagine you're taking a test in school, and when you answer the wrong answer, like you answer a question and you know that you got it wrong, like if it told you that, instead of waiting until the end of the test, it told you in the middle of the test that you got it wrong, that can be discouraging while you're trying to take the rest of the test, but they give you the answers at the end so that you don't psychologically start putting yourself down in the middle of the test and then get answers wrong that you would have got right if you were in a more positive mood. So what I'm saying is, like, when you're setting goals, there has to be a balance of understanding with yourself. And I think that's what Ty was talking about with the identity, and like making sure that you're grounded in who you are and not just the goal, because if you don't hit your mark, it's not personal. Like I like to say that when you're in business mode and you're in execution mode, that's not you. Like that's not your time. That's the time that you're setting aside to execute. Like that's not you. So there has to be a separation between you and the executing you. And I'm not saying that there's not. These are just ideas for someone listening that's like, I'm setting goals, I'm doing this, but it's not working out. These are just like hints, like step back, evaluate, and learn from it. Don't be down on yourself if you don't reach your goal. Like there's an infinite amount of goals that you can set. Keep going forward.
Championship routine, like you said, it's not personal.
Mhm.
So I think, especially with you and I mean, you moved to Texas, I moved to Illinois. So, at the start of the summer, going into like fall time, you and I were having talks about like how we weren't where we were trying to be. Like we were just going through this big old crisis of like not knowing anything. And it's okay not to know anything. I need people to understand that. Um, because when I got into my master's program, I was like, yeah, I want to do all these things. But then once I started to get more into it, I was like, I don't even know what I want to do. Like it,
Yeah.
it's taken me almost a year to figure out like what I really want to do. I had to basically be sat down and reflect on everything that has going on and what road I want to take. So for the people that are watching, it's okay not to know. We don't know everything. We don't have it all together 24/7. Like it just look like it, but we really
Well,
don't.
I,
Like
I've been I've been I've been accused of knowing it all, so I don't want to rule that out.
shout out to Aaron. But man, just reflection is important, and you don't need to put too much pressure on yourself. I think that's what a lot of people do because they see all the instant gratification on Instagram, social media. We talked about those things as well. Um, don't put so much pressure. Go with the flow, adjust and adapt along the way, and whatever happens, happens. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not, it's not.
No, I agree, and I think that that's a great transition for what I wanted to dig deeper into today. And we
This guy,
we
this
touched
guy,
we touched on it a little earlier,
this
and
guy.
it was crazy because it happened organically. But I really wanted to talk about comfort zone today. And the reason I wanted to talk about it is because it's just been coming up a lot in my life. And I think it's important to talk about. And I really started getting focused on this about a few days ago when I was talking to someone. And I was talking to them about a problem that, like they didn't bring it to me, but it's obvious that they have this problem. And it's a problem where if it's not handled, then it will definitely cause long-term issues and possibly, a lower standard of life, probably within the next 10 years. But I was talking to this person and they were like, I know it's a problem, but my heart's not in it. Like my heart's not in changing it. Like I don't care about it like that in order to change it. And it got me thinking like, wow, this person is in such a comfort zone in their life that they know something is a problem, and they know, like, they're not even disagreeing with me. They're like, yep, you're right 100%. I'm not taking no offense. You're 100% right. And my heart's just not in changing it. And it got me thinking like, does your heart really need to be in something in order to change it? Like why is that a thing? Like, why does your heart need to be in something to change a problem that you have? Like, why is it this fantasized thing where we have to be head over heels in love with solving a problem in order to solve it? And there goes okay, the camera back up. I don't know why it does that, but why? I just asking y'all, like, why is it that, when we think about solving problems, there's this like almost love-hate relationship, I feel like, with solving problems, instead of just, here's a problem, let me go and fix that.
Mm. Mm. Uh, I would say,
That's a good question.
yeah, man. Like, I'd say that people want to have something to hold on and complain about. You know, i- if you were to fix all your problems, like my philosophy on that is that we create our own problems. Like a lot of people say that there's a devil and there's God. Like when we do bad stuff, I believe that we're the devil. Like we create our own storms, we get in situations, and then we blame everybody around us. But it's like at some point you had a moment to think like, is this right or wrong? Is this person right for me or are they wrong? Should I keep doing this? Should I keep doing that? So you chose to go down that road. So I think when they don't confront the problems, it's just they want to hold on to that crutch of like blaming that for everything else around them.
Well, okay, so what if they don't necessarily blame this problem or say, well, let's say they're willing to take accountability, but they're just not willing to do anything about it. Is that, like they're not using it necessarily to say I can't do this because of this, but they just don't want to fix the problem. Is it because they don't see it as a problem for them in the same way that you see it as a problem for them?
Um, I would say it's not a high priority. I wouldn't say that they don't want to solve it. It's just like it's better not to care than to care for them because then they just get themselves hurt in the process. But I mean, if it's like life threatening, like you said, 10 years down the road, like why wouldn't you want to fix it? Like why wouldn't you want to handle that before it becomes a thing?
I don't know. What do you think, Shalisha?
So are they identifying it as a problem and saying, I don't want to fix it because it's not something I want to? Or can you say that they honestly know that it's a problem?
No, when I
Because I
spoke
feel
to
like if you
them,
know
they knew it
something's a
was a problem.
problem and you know it's,
They knew it was a problem.
well, then maybe they just don't see anything wrong with it. They know it's a problem, but maybe that's something they're willing to accept themselves. Even though it's a problem and it's causing issues, they're okay with that issue and that problem in their life. Because if you want to do something, if you know something's a problem and you're not doing anything to change that problem, then you're okay with that problem. You're okay with living that life and doing whatever you're doing. So maybe it's just they've accepted that for themselves and that's the low standards that they want to live by.
No, I think that's important too, like accepting, because this person is not a stupid person. They're not unaware. Like they know full, like they're aware enough to know like this is a problem. And so I think that's what the comfort zone is accepting something, like accepting your place and where you're at. And my question to you guys is, why do why do people accept a comfort zone for them that's not actually comfortable for them?
Say that one more time.
Why do people accept a comfort zone for themselves that's not actually comfortable for them? And what I mean by that is, like, we were talking about security earlier, right? And
Yeah.
we were talking about, if you're in a burning building but your room is not on fire, but the other rooms are, and you see the fire coming, are you really comfortable, as comfortable as you would be if your building was not on fire at all? And that's what I'm saying, is like, how can you know that you're in a burning building and be comfortable just because the room that you're in is not on fire? The same thing with this person. How can you know that you are in a situation to where your for lack of better words, your health or your situation is burning and is going to do something to you, but you are, like, you're comfortable, but you're not comfortable because there's still that thing on your mind of, this is still a problem.
Self-doubt and fear.
So self-doubt and fear.
Mm-hmm. Well, for
Go-
me personally, Personally, that's what it was. Because it's
So
like, for the example you used about the burning building, they're in that room that's not on fire, and the rest of the building is burning. So maybe they're thinking about, will I burn if I stay in this room that could possibly catch on fire, but not a guarantee, or am I going to get burned more going out there trying to get to safety? So because they've been in that room, close to the fire, but they're not burnt yet, they're comfortable there, but they haven't walked out there to try to get to safety. So it's kind of what you're allowing for yourself. I'm like, for me, I'm that person, that comfort zone, I get that comfort zone and I stay there. But it's me putting limitations on myself. If I can sit here and be in this comfort zone and not even completely be comfortable, but I'm willing to take and accept the risks that come with staying in this comfort, why am I not willing to do something myself to step out of that comfort zone to where I can actually be comfortable? For me, it's like, what if burn taking that risk and going out, more so burn than I would if I just stayed in my little comfort zone, my little safe zone. So that's where the fear comes in. And then self-doubt, because it's like you are already fearing it, and then you get in your own head. And it's like, why would you want to risk where you're at now? Why would you want to risk the little bit of comfortableness you have and the little bit of stability you have to go out there and get something that you don't even know if you're going to get?
no, and I think that's true. I think that a lot of people do have that self-doubt and that fear, but I don't think that it's as big as they think it is. Like I really think that if people did step outside their comfort zone, even just a little on a more consistent basis, they would see it's not so scary out here. Like it's
Yeah.
it's actually more scary in the secure zone, because at any moment someone can take away the opportunity that they've given to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about this is deep, like, because I was thinking about this while I was in college with the master's degree, like getting the master's degree. Like a lot of people don't have a master's degree, and you would think that someone who does have one would feel like pretty much invincible going into the workforce. But that's not the case, because when you realize that, people just think differently from you. And at some point, if you're not following what they want you to follow, they're only going to put up with so much. And what if someone would have came in one day and called me the N-word, and I stood up for myself? Now I have to lose my job and my security because I'm standing up for myself. I'm not letting someone disrespect me. And then I got to thinking deeper, like, if I start my own business and somebody says something to me or whatever, and now I stand up for myself, now I have to lose my business that I worked for years because somebody went online and said something negative about me and other people believed it. So what do? I can stay in that comfort zone where I'm like, well, I'm just going to run my own business or get a job and walk on eggshells all the time and be comfortable. Or I can figure out a way to make it to where I can really be comfortable and set my money up to where no matter how somebody feels about me, I still have money coming in. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to spend my whole life building a business that I'm dependent on. I'm going to take the money that I get from the businesses and buy real estate. You know what I mean? And have that pay me. Because if I say something someone doesn't like, no one's going to come and take my real estate from me. Like, I'm good. I can say whatever I want, and that real estate is still going to be mine. I can lose a business tomorrow based on what I say and my honest opinion on how I feel. So what I'm saying is like, whatever comfort zone people are in, think of what it is that you're afraid of in that comfort zone and just attack it head on and solve that problem. Because you would be so much better if you just faced it head on instead of waiting for a car to hit you when you know that it's coming anyways and you're standing in the middle of the street. And it's like, oh, it's 40 miles out. It's not going to hit me. It's 20 miles out. I see it. Oh, the headlights are on. They got their brights on today. And then it's like, boom, now I'm hit. When all you had to do was go stand on the sidewalk.
So let's rewind. Let's rewind.
All right, rewind
Well,
it.
I sounded like Jamaican when I said that, bro. Rewind.
Hey.
Rewind. Um, You said that if people step out of their comfort zone just a little bit, it changes their life.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you say to a person that says, it's easier said than done? I got to do a whole 360 because like we talked about earlier, everything that they're seeing on social media and all those outlets plays a role in how they step out of their comfort zone. So what do you tell somebody that says it's easier said than done that has to do with 360?
Um,
That's for both of y'all to answer if y'all want.
I'll let Shalisha take it first.
You got to start somewhere. Either you're staying in that room and risk getting burnt, being comfortable, or you're going to go out there and go after what you want and risk getting burnt. Either way, you're at risk of getting burnt. So what are you willing to get burned for? I'm staying in my comfort zone. I'm staying in that room, doing the same things day to day to day, knowing there's a chance I'm going to get burned. Why not risk going to get burnt and risk being greater? Why not risk that uncomfortableness, that feeling of needing to be in control? You got to start somewhere. Where are you going to start? Do you want to start? Do you want to stay in that comfort zone? Do you want to grow? Do you want better? Because if somebody truly wants it, they're going to go for it. Like there's no excuse. It's just what you're willing to accept for yourself. And for me, I'm telling you, like it's frightening. Like I wake up and I have to literally tell myself, don't listen to the negative thoughts. Step out that comfort zone. I know I'm capable of. I know what I can achieve. But do I really know if I'm not doing everything I need to be doing to go get it? My bills are paid. I got gas in the car. I got food in the fridge. But do I want more than just my bills being paid? Do I want more food than what I have in the fridge? Do I want one car with gas in it? Do I want two cars with gas in it? What do I want? And then what am I going to go do to get it? Because I could lose my job. Property owner could be like, I only need a person here. And they could not choose me as that one person to be there. If I stay in my comfort zone and that happens, then it's going to be more fearful because now something's affected my comfort zone. I don't have as much control as it if I was really out there doing what I feel like I needed to do on my time. If I'm a full state real estate agent, I'm putting my 100% in and I'm closing deals, they can't come tell me, oh, I don't want you working as a real estate agent. But the property owner could say, I don't want you being my leasing agent. I only want this person here. And then what? I'm still in my comfort zone and I'm still burned versus going out, crossing the fires, getting burned a little bit, having more and being further than where I was staying in that box.
What's your definition of fear?
Ooh. My definition of fear.
I want you to think about that because I got another like question / statement. Go ahead, Fitz.
Are you asking what's my definition of fear or the 360?
I want you to talk about the 360, but then have that definition of fear in your head for after you talk about the 360.
So I would say for the person that is saying that, or can you repeat the question? Because I think I understand what you're asking.
No, you're good. So for a person, they're gonna say that's easier said than done. So let's take everything into account. Social media, all those outlets is shaping how they see things, how they think. So that person has to do a complete 360 because they have to get rid of all that negative stuff and then focus on stepping out of their comfort zone. So what do you tell somebody who says that like it's easier said than done because they say that, oh, I have to do it 360 and it's just kind of pointless to do that?
I would say that I wouldn't say anything to them because it seems like they already know that they have to change and they just don't want to. If they're admitting to me that they have to do a 360, then they already know that they have to change from who they are now to who they want to be. And based on my experience, when somebody knows that they have to change, but they don't, they have to do that on their own time. And the more I talk, the more they're going to look at me as someone that's judging them. I'm more interested in talking to the person that, more like Shalisha, where it's like, I know I need to do a 360. How can I do that 360? Not, I know I need to do a 360, but I want to stay where I'm at. If you want to stay where you're at, I can't stay there with you. So I can't, you've already like we make it so complex and difficult, and we try to talk art like as somebody who's there, you know, like completing the 360. I can't go back to zero and then try to bring you to where I'm at and then go like I have to see that you're trying and trying and trying in order for me to say, hey, you know, like I'm right here, do this, and then you can get right here. And then when you're there, I'm gonna be over here. And then it's like, take the stairs. And you know, like you have to be doing something. But if you're already telling me that you don't want to do anything, then you just made it easier for me and for you.
All right. So now we talk about fear a lot. So what is fear to you all? What's your definition?
Okay, I'll go first because I think Shalisha's still thinking.
Yeah, you go first.
So fear to me is an emotion that people use as a crutch for not doing what they want to do. I think fear in a lot of the ways that I see it being used is an illusion, because when we actually talk about what it is that we fear, it actually turns out that most of the time it's not a real problem that exists other than in our heads. So I think that fear was you like we developed fear biologically so that we could stay away from danger, but now people use fear as like this fake wall that they put up so that now they can, you know, now they have a reason for not doing what it is that they really want to do. You know, like I wanted to start a podcast, but I could have said, oh, I fear that nobody's going to watch it. But the fact of the matter is I don't have control over that. And if I just keep thinking that, then I put this wall up, I'll never know if anyone's going to watch it. But if I just say, well, I want to put a podcast up, I don't want people to watch it, I just want to put it up. That changes it. That's a different way of looking at it. If I put the podcast up and do the exact same thing that I wanted to do when I wanted people to watch it, but the only difference now is I'm just saying I want to do the podcast, then it's a different way of looking at it so that you can still do what you want to do. I post on social media every single day, and sometimes it gets liked, sometimes it doesn't. It's whatever. You know what I mean? Like if I said I need to get 3 likes in order to keep posting, then it would be discouraging. But if it's like I need to post, then I'm going to keep doing it. So fear is something that you have to challenge. It's something that I think people make up a lot of the times.
I always like your posts.
Yeah.
You always have a like for me.
Thank
I
you.
try to like it. I try not to be on social media as much.
Just you be like the, the people are
I
waiting
agree
for
with the state of
Shalisha.
mind.
All right. So you agree?
Yeah, I feel like fear is a state of mind. Yeah, because if you're thinking about it, how do you truly know that you're scared of something if you don't even try to go do it? I think it's for me, like I'm fearing it before I even try to do it. So how do I know I'm truly afraid of it?
That's a question that you have to ask yourself, because I think that, you know, like I'm not an extrovert by any means, but
Yes, you are.
nah, like I prefer to be alone. Like I prefer to just chill when I'm in social situations.
Same.
I'm just like, you know, this ain't really for me. I would rather, you know, be chilling at the house, eating something or doing what I want to do on my own time. But I like challenges. So this sense of fear, whatever, like I don't have a problem doing public speaking, even though I'm an introvert, because I face that fear. Like I face that, you know, what are people going to think when they see me? What are they going to think when I'm speaking or whatever? But it's a challenge. And when you address the challenge, now when I'm in college and I'm, you know, there's a presentation and everybody's like, you know, scared to go and present, I'm raising my hand first. I started doing that. Who wants to present? Boom, I'm fighting people to go first. You know, I'm getting it out the way, and then slowly but surely I'm doing the presentation and I go first and people see me going first and they're like, I don't even want to follow that. Like, you did great. And then you build that up, but you would never know that if you waited until the last moment and you were so shy and scared. It's like, just address it. Just go, whatever that fear is, uh, go at it head on, and you'll see that you're probably better than you thought you were. It's not actually a fear. And, you know, you may actually have a talent or ability to do this at a high level.
Yeah. So the reason why I asked y'all, what your definition was, it goes back to what I said before, how people are the devil to themselves, because fear is an illusion. I think a lot of people fabricate, um, you know, false evidence. There's no true sense of threat. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a quote from Les Brown that says, "False evidence appearing real," and I learned that probably, man, years ago, and it just hit hard because it's like, we are truly the people that stop us from doing what we want to do. Like, you ever got on a plane and you're thinking, "Dang, I don't want the plane to, crash." Like,
Yep.
there's no true threat. I mean, it's a possibility, but that possibility is really low. Um, for me, I traveled overseas and that's like a 10-hour flight. So me, I'm all anxiety ridden. I'm like, oh man, I don't want the plane to crash in the water or whatever. Um, but there was no true immediate threat. That was just something I made up in my mind. And I think that goes with everything. People get so caught up in the failure part and they build up all these fears and all these fake, you know, this fake evidence, and then they don't do it. So I say all that to say, like, you're keeping yourself from what you want to do.
No, and I agree. And I think that that's important to touch on. Is like, I was watching something the other day and he was saying, people are at war with the truth. And, you know,
Mm,
people are on a quest for happiness, and that's where they actually, that's the root of unhappiness, is when you're on a quest for happiness, because happiness is just an emotion, but fulfillment is more of like a state of being. It's more stable. And he was saying, like, most people are held back from their fulfillment because they're at war with truth, and that most problems are because someone is not willing to accept the truth of their situation. And I think when we talk about the comfort zone, most people aren't willing to admit that they are in their comfort zone. You know, like, they're not willing to admit that they want more. And that's where they get trapped in the comfort zone, because it's like, you know, I if I really wanted to, I would, but I'm cool here. Like, they say that they don't want more, but then you look at their life and you look at what they're doing and you see them struggling, and you see, you know, the things that they really do want, and that's where the comfort zone kicks in at. So what I want to know from you guys is, when should somebody step back? Like, what are the signs that someone's in the comfort zone, one, and what can they do once they've identified it, if they really want to change that?
Oh, I'll go first. So for me, I always knew that I had a comfort zone. Like, it wasn't something that I would never, it's not like something I'm just finding out. I always knew I had a comfort zone, to the point of where it's like, I don't know, at one point in time, I felt like it was something I was proud of. To where if I actually had conversations with people, that would be one of the first things I listed. Like, I have control issues. I like to be in my comfort zone. I don't like no outside forces coming to interrupt my little stable box I put myself in. So for me, I always knew that that was what I was. That was where I reverted to when I was uncomfortable, or I didn't feel like I was going to achieve something. I revert back and put myself in that little box. But to actually visit Robert, I was down in Texas. I needed a little getaway.
Talk your
So
talk.
actually, you know, when I was down in Texas, it was it was relaxing, but it was emotional for me because it's like I realized a lot of what I want. And I had to realize that I'm literally standing and we're driving around Texas. I'm looking at the scenery. I'm looking at the houses. I'm listening to Robert. I'm listening to Tatiana's mom. And it's like, it's everything I want right in front of me. There are people who are doing it and succeeding in it. So here's what I want. Here's where I am. What's missing to get me to where I want to be? So for me, it was like, you have to step out that comfort zone. It actually hit me when Robert made me do the disc assessment. We were just laying there. I don't know if we was playing or watching this R. Kelly Surviving R. I don't know what. Oh, it was Surviving R. Kelly. We was watching Surviving R. Kelly. Yeah. So he had me do the disc assessment. And I didn't do the one that cost, but I did, the free. Robert did. So he had the more in-depth, explanations of what they actually mean. And Robert pretty much pinpointed what my disc assessment and what it was going to tell me I was. He pretty much pinpointed it. So like just listening to him go into detail of these things, and here I'm using these things as a way for me to feel secure, not realizing that these things are holding me from being and getting to where I need to be. Thompson, his videos, I don't know. He talks a lot about the disc assessment, and maybe kind of how I feel like everything is happening the way it's supposed to be happening. I believe in everything happens for a reason. There's no chance that I just happened to click on the video where he goes into describing the disc assessment and what they mean. So I really felt like he was coming for me. Like, yo, these are things that I would pride myself on for being this way, not realizing these are the exact things that are holding me back from being on that balcony, seeing the view of all those trees, looking down at my pool, my barbecue grill, you see what I'm saying? Theater room, like these are things holding me back. I'm using them as things that I was acting like I was proud of, not realizing I'm not where I want to be. Not everything I've been through in life, not the situations, but because I keep putting myself in that box. I felt safe in that box. Well, I'm not even trying to be safe no more. I'm trying to win. So we got to get out of that box. I don't want to be safe no more. I want to get burned a couple times because that's learned. So for me, it was never something I had to come to terms with. It was something that I knew, but I didn't really know. I used it as like, oh, this is something I should be proud of, when this is something I need to change. This is something I need to work on. I don't have to put myself in that box because of what I've been through. I don't have to limit myself to being comfortable. I can be uncomfortable and I can succeed and still be comfortable. I can do it all at the same time. Like so I don't know. For me, it's different. So I can't really answer how you figure out that you're staying in that comfort zone. But I feel like I can answer of how to get out of that comfort zone. It's just a matter of what you want.
Well, I think you did answer, how to identify that you're in it, because you said that you saw someone or you were standing in what you knew you wanted. And then you started to question why you didn't have it, pretty much. And I think that it starts with knowing, like having an idea of what you want, and then reflecting on what you actually have. And if it's not lining up, then you're in your comfort zone. If you want something and you don't have it, you're in your comfort zone. And if you're not working towards getting it and you want it, then you're in your comfort zone. And you said something that I think is real. Like you said, I don't want to be safe. I want to win. And I was watching something like, I think yesterday, it was like a UFC fighter, and they were fighting and he was beat up pretty bad. And, like the coach, he was looking at the coach and he tells the coach, like, don't stop the fight. I'm prepared to die. Like, this is a fight. He's getting the money either way,
I know what you're talking about. I seen that.
Yeah, he's getting the money either way, but he's prepared to die behind a fight. And some people would look at that and say, why is he prepared to die behind a fight? He's already getting paid. It's not that serious. But that's what I'm trying to say, is that the comfort zone. Oh, there goes my camera again. Okay, there it goes. I don't know why it does that. Okay. The comfort zone is a mental space, because if you're looking at like, well, he has the cars, I'm sure the house, whatever, he has the money, There's no reason. Some people are trying to die for the money. Other people are willing to risk it all just so that they don't have to live in their comfort zone. Because once you get out of the comfort zone, you realize it's not even about the money or the things, it's about that mentality. You know, like people were telling me like, "Oh, you're in Texas, you're working hard, you're going to succeed." I could have sat back and been like, "Okay, I'm comfortable now." But what did I do? I challenged myself and started getting up at 5 a.m. and working harder. I challenged myself. Instead of just posting 3 times a day, I post now from 9 till 5. Like I don't want to be comfortable. If I'm like I challenge myself by, I'm driving and somebody calls me and they want to go look at a property. I'm not going to go home and do a bunch of research. I'm meeting you there now. Okay, cool. Like, I'm challenging myself. I've never sold a piece of land before. Somebody calls me and wants help buying land. I'm challenging myself. Let's do it. I got you. Just closed on my first land deal a few weeks ago. But if I'm sitting here in my comfort zone, then I'm passing that lead off to somebody else. I'm telling them I don't know what it is. I'm doing all these things. I'm helping people with multifamily properties. I've never done that before, but I have to step outside my comfort zone to do it. I'm learning how to code so I can build websites. I have to step outside my comfort zone. I don't know how to code. I didn't know how to do any of that, but I'm learning. And I think that most people, back to what Shalisha was saying, is like they knew what they wanted, but then at some point they act like they still don't want it. So then they get comfortable because now it's like, oh, I have everything I want. All I want is a job just to pay my bills and things like that. And that's cool for some people. But it's like, if you want more, you have to realize that you have to do something different.
Shout out to that boy Izzy. That's what you talking about.
Yep.
He's in an anime, so I know you like him. That boy's the truth, bro. He said that. He said, "I'm willing to die for this." I'm like, "Hey, bro, like that's crazy." In the middle of a fight, that boy wilding, man. To answer your question though, man, I don't know what a comfortable zone looks like, really. I mean, for other people, I could tell you, but for me, it's like I've been uncomfortable my whole life. Like my family, both sides of my family, poor generations of, you know, cycles that put them in prison. The kind of normal stuff that we go through. Um, so I really don't know what being comfortable is like, and I even if it were to be comfortable, I don't know if I'd like it because I'm so used to being uncomfortable. I'd rather be uncomfortable than comfortable. That's just kind of where I'm at in my lifetime. Like if I'm comfortable, something's wrong. If I'm just being content, something's wrong. It's like I'm not doing enough, and not in the terms of like having my hands in so many pots, but just growing and excelling and accomplishing what I want to do. So I don't know. But for those people that are comfortable, get up off your ass.
And I
Get
and
out the box.
and I think I just want to clarify something because I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying. At least I'm not saying you can't be comfortable. I'm just saying that if you're going to be comfortable, do it at a high level.
Can't be
Like,
comfortable.
yeah, like if you're I'd rather be comfortable, in and have money in the bank and have investments than to be comfortable and not have that, because at least at that comfort level I can keep being comfortable. It's like, what are the chances of my comfort being ruined if I have investment properties and I have money coming in that I don't even have to work for anymore, compared to if I'm comfortable, but on the back end, there's all these things that I still have to do to be comfortable. If you're going to be comfortable, be comfortable. But if you still have to work for that comfort, then you're not actually comfortable. And so many people are still working to be comfortable. And that's what I'm getting at, is like, get to a point to where if you are going to be comfortable, you don't have to work for it anymore.
Should people be comfortable or content?
I think there's a difference between being comfortable and content.
Mm,
I think I think you can be comfortable
mm,
and, be doing well for yourself. Content, I think, is more psychological. Um and it's more like, it's just built in people, I think, and it's just something that you build over time. You know, like being content. I'm the type of person where if I know there's more that can be done, I want to do it. But there are some people that they've done enough, so that's where they want to stop at. They're cool, which is fine. But you're only going to see people get to the highest level when they're one competitive and they're not doing it for any other reason besides doing it. Some people need a reason to do something. Other people just do it because it either needs to get done or because, you know, they're doing it for the sake of doing it, if that makes sense. Like there's no ulterior motive, there's no external goal. They're just doing it for the sake of doing it. And I think that's when you reach the highest level of, you know, like success or whatever, when you're just doing it to do it and the results follow.
Mm. Okay, so I'm gonna be the devil's advocate and challenge you on that because I think you should be content and not comfortable.
You think you
For,
should be content.
for the simple fact, um, being content, be content in the moment. So let's say you drop a $200,000 deal and you see, you know, what $75,000 of that, whatever. You could be content in that moment because you got that 75 grand. You feel me? Like that's nice. That's a nice check right there. So be content for the moment, but then it's back to the drawing board the next day. I feel like when you're comfortable, you get too caught up in what you have, like what you're getting. So for you, you said getting all this, you know, getting on the money, the car, whatever you want to get. At some point, you're gonna get so comfortable to the point where you're not gonna work again. You're not gonna have that fire. You're not gonna want to work because you're already getting what you already have. So for me, it's about being content in the moment, content, you know, for a little while. But I know in the back of my head, we still got to go and get it. I don't want to be comfortable. If I'm comfortable, even at a high level, even with Tatiana mom, she doing her thing, but she's not comfortable though.
Boy, I'm telling you.
She's not comfortable. She's content. It's two different things. Cause she got money, she got cars, she got all that. I mean, you and I both know that houses, all that stuff. But she's not comfortable.
That
Cause
BMW was nice in the driveway.
if she was comfortable, why is she still working like she working?
So I think when I say comfortable, I'm not saying to be comfortable. I'm just saying if you're gonna be comfortable, do it
No,
at a high level.
no.
You don't think so?
No, because once you get comfortable, you get complacent.
But what's wrong? Like, what's wrong with somebody being comfortable if they have everything they want?
Why would you want to be comfortable though? Are you working to be comfortable?
Some people,
I
like
mean,
some people,
I
just
mean,
want enough to where it's like they don't have to worry about bills. They're cool. Like some people don't want it all. Like there's a
that,
group of people that want it all, and then there's just a group of people where it's like, you know, I want to be able to spend more time with my kids. And if
mhm.
I can get to a certain point to where I get some real estate investment properties and they're bringing in enough money to cover the bills, and you know, I know we're good, then I'm fine with that. Like I don't want to work 80 hours a week.
Mhm. I mean, if you're working for to be comfortable, then just go to school and get a 9 to 5 job.
But that's what I'm saying. That's
Don't get
not being
ownership.
comfortable at a high level because you still got to work for your
That
money.
that that's their level though. A lot of people can say, "Oh, I don't want to. I want to be to the point where I don't want to have to like worry about bills." Okay, money comes and goes. Like you can have $500,000 in the bank. You don't pay off your house. You don't pay off all your bills, but you might have an emergency. Your house might burn down. Your
They
car
got
might break
insurance for
down.
that.
You gotta pay for uh that still costs money. That's a bill. You gotta pay for your kids' schooling. Like you're never gonna have enough money.
But that's what
I
I'm
don't
saying. The
I don't
invest
think you'll ever have
when you
enough.
invest money, you get to a certain point where you don't have to work for that anymore. And
Right.
that's what I'm
That's
saying is,
that's being complacent though.
so do you think that there's a difference between someone who has money coming in that they don't have to work for and they can be comfortable and be comfortable, if that makes sense? Like I think there's a difference between being comfortable and not being able to live a good life. And I think there's a difference between like Bill Gates never having to work again and living out the rest of his life chilling with his family, compared to a different 70-year-old where they still have to go to Walmart and work every day. And if they don't, they're not going to be able to pay for their prescription.
I think for Bill Gates, I mean, he got a lot of money. He be giving out money and all that stuff too. At the same time, though, he's not comfortable. Because if he was comfortable, why is he involved in all these extra activities? You know, doing all these interviews about the CDC and the vaccine and all those things. Why is he involved in all that? Because if he got comfortable, he'd get complacent. He wouldn't
I'm
have
not
nothing to
saying
do.
he is. I'm saying he can be. I'm saying he
He,
can
he
do
yeah,
all
he,
those
he could
things
be
because
comfortable,
he's
but
comfortable.
I'm saying he's reached that level that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so if he can be comfortable, why is he be comfortable then?
He doesn't want to be,
He's content.
but he could be.
He's
And
content with what he has.
he's content. I think he can be. I think there's a different level of, I guess, I don't know how we're defining comfortable and content.
This guy, we're not doing the definitions.
I'm
What it
just
means to
saying,
you?
I don't know how we're defining it, but I think we're
No,
saying similar things.
no, we're not.
What
We're
do you think,
not.
Shalisha? Maybe
We're
you can
not.
be like the outside perspective.
Don't play his side.
Don't play your side.
Let's see. Could you be comfortable and content and still have that drive and that motivation to keep going? Like, is it a bad thing if you get to a point in life to where you are living comfortably? Like, can you have both? Can you be comfortable but still have that drive to keep going? Can you be comfortable and know that there's no limit, that you still want more? Or is it like one or the other? Are you saying if you're comfortable, then you're settling in a way and you lose that ambition to keep going? Because I feel
Exactly.
like there can be a healthy balance for both. You know, you can still live that comfortable lifestyle, be content in your lifestyle, but know that this isn't enough for me and I'm still going to keep going. Like, what really is enough? If you had to put like a dollar amount on enough money for you to be comfortable or content, what would it be? Is there ever such thing as too much money? I feel like if you're living and you're handling your responsibilities, you know, and you have that privilege to live that comfortable, content lifestyle, but you still have that ambition that you want to get more and keep going for it, I don't feel like there's an issue with that.
And I think that's what I'm saying is like, I'm not just talking about money. I'm saying once you reach a certain level of money, you can be comfortable from a money standpoint, but that don't mean you're not the best dad you can be. That don't mean, like you can't grow in other areas. I'm just specifically talking about going out and getting money. Like right now, I'm focused on getting money, but once I reach a certain level of money, then I may pull back and be like, you know what? Maybe I want to write a book for 6 months. So I'm going to go give 100% towards writing a book. And I'm not even going to be focused on going out and getting more money because I have money coming in. I'm comfortable enough financially to go out and take a risk somewhere else. That's what I'm saying is like, as far as money, but not as far, like, I don't think if you're not going out and getting money that you still can't be doing something else and giving something else 100%.
Definitely.
Okay.
I feel like if you're growing and you're learning to go further in life, but you're still living that comfortable life, that I feel like if you can win in every aspect and be truly content or comfortable, whichever you prefer, in every aspect of life and keep growing, then I feel like for me, that's the ultimate goal. I do want to get to a point to where I'm comfortable, or I like using the word comfortable. I don't know. I like being comfy. I'm a comfy person. For me, I want to get comfortable in every aspect of my life, but I know that I'm not going to get comfortable and stop. You know, I've realized that it's about growing. So if you're not striving to do better in one way or another and continue to keep growing, then I feel like you're kind of shorting yourself out of everything you could possibly become and everything you can have in life. I feel like you can do both. I feel like you can keep growing and keep that ambition and be comfortable.
Yeah, I agree. That's it.
Okay, y'all spitting that
Gotta
fire.
have
All
a
right.
balance.
Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Y'all got it.
You got
Calm
any
down.
more? You got any more questions?
Calm down, everybody. Calm down.
This guy.
Aaron being like, "Hey, it's not. It's you're being comfortable. It's not content." Oh, Aaron.
Hey, we love you, Aaron. You don't watch the podcast anyway, so you probably won't know we're saying.
This guy. Hey, he said he getting back on social media, so he don't know how to use Instagram though. He was like, "What's a reel?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's Instagram, bro."
Well, let me.
So,
We always finish our episodes with a few practical pieces of advice. So
Mm.
I'll let you guys go first. What are 3 practical pieces of advice you can give somebody that is in the comfort zone and who it wants to make? Like, we're not talking about someone who's in the comfort zone and they know they're in it and they don't want to change. We're talking about someone who's in it, or maybe they don't know they're in it, but they're willing to make a change. What are 3 practical pieces of advice you would give them that they can use today?
women first. Black women first.
Let's see. 3 pieces of advice. That's right, we're queens. Let's see. Hmm. 3 pieces of advice. That's a good one. My first piece of advice would be confidence, self-confidence in every aspect of your life. I feel like that's key. You got to have that in every aspect of your life. My second piece of advice, stop being afraid. Like, what are you truly afraid of? Let the fear go. And my third piece of advice would be stop putting limitations on yourself. Those would be my 3 pieces of advice.
All right. That's good. You ready,
You know,
Ty?
you know what it is. No, I'm just playing.
This guy.
The comfort zone is nothing else but a graveyard for your dreams and ideas. And in the great words of Nipsey Hussle, my dog said,
Okay.
"It may be hard, but it's worth it. Life ain't fair,
Okay.
but it's worth it."
So we got comfort zone is a
If
graveyard
not
for your.
now, when?
Mm.
All right. So I think those are
Eric
very
Thompson.
good.
I'm telling you, he's touching my life.
Those are good. So I just want to clarify that Kwame Ture said that first, I think.
So what?
If not
Did he?
now, then when? If not you, then who? Like, he said that back in like the 60s in like Africa. It was part of like the revolution.
Oh, okay.
But
Oh, see, I didn't even know that. I just been watching
yeah,
it from Eric Thompson.
it's Eric Thomas.
Ah!
Oh, Thomas. My bad, Eric Thomas. I've been saying Thompson this whole time.
Just call him E.T. E.T.
Changing
It's-
people's last names.
Hey. But all right, so I'm gonna try to follow up on 3 practical pieces of advice. If you're in the comfort zone, I would say you have to know yourself to know yourself. So sit down, do like a self inventory, evaluate yourself, 1, to know if you're in the comfort zone. 2, if you find yourself in the comfort zone, just attack it head on. Like, don't beat around the bush. Don't try to take the prideful route and act like this isn't a real problem. Just go at it head first. Be direct. Like, it. Think of it as like the friend zone. A lot of people get in the friend zone because they're not direct with the other person about how they feel. So the same thing works with you and your fears when you're in the comfort zone. If you're not direct about it, then you end up lying to yourself and you end up catering to yourself and you ultimately end up hurting yourself because you're not who you want to be and you get mad at yourself. And so I would just say be direct. And my third piece of advice is what Shalisha's doing, like have somebody that can hold you accountable. And if you don't have anybody that can hold you accountable, write things down and hold yourself accountable to what you write down. A lot of people are just, just trying to change things up when they feel that it's convenient for them, but you need a way to hold yourself accountable and really take the steps necessary to get yourself out of the comfort zone, and just know that it will get better. It might get worse before it gets better, but it will get better at some point. And I guess that's the podcast.
Hold on. I'm about to get my bag. Hold on. You don't talk about African quotes and stuff. Hold on.
Let's get.
I got one for you, boy. I got one for you, boy. Take advantage of every opportunity. Whether there is none, make it for yourself. The great Marcus Garvey.
All right. Well, since we talking about quotes respectfully.
Oh wait, I got a quote now too.
All right, let's hear Shalisha's quote.
Okay. We're actually gonna go this way though, because what I do. Okay. So let me flip this. I did this in high school, learning Zoom. Okay. I'm not a great artist, but I did this trying to finish my senior year of high school. In high school, jacked up a lot. Senior year came along, I had to put in more work than I should have. But it said, yet the menace of the years find and shall find me unafraid. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. William Henry.
I'm the captain of my soul.
So take control. Take control of your life and what you want out of it. It's up to you. You got to do it. Again, if not now, when you gonna do it? You keep procrastinating, it's gonna be longer down the line for you to hit that goal. Why wait?
All right, and I'll leave the people with this quote. A wise man once told me, "I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut."
This guy.
And thank you for watching From the Bottom podcast. TC.
The greatest, yours truly.
That's from Tyree Caesar.
That's for me.
Thank you for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe. Let us know what you think.
From the bottom.
Share from the bottom. Send Aaron some love.
And, from the bottom.
Peace.
He done
Thanks for having me.
He's kicked